Well, the ANC's Arts and Culture Subcommittee will be hosting an engagement program with the creative industry. The Secretary-General of that party, Fikile Mbalula, will deliver a keynote address to the creative sector and broader stakeholders. SABC News political reporter Natasha Phiri is there. It isn't politics, Natasha, is it? But an engagement, I guess, with the creative sector following what was an engagement last month, I understand, to address some of the concerns that are raised by those in the creative sector. Talk us through what is expected there.
Definitely, Crisaldo, it isn't politics, but I think by the virtue of the governing party, the ANC being the governing party, they saw it fit to actually have these conversations with members of the creative industry. You're quite right. This is a follow-up meeting, as we're told by attendees, to a session that they actually had last month. And the importance of this is that, the ANC and the creative industry actually foster dialogue and collaboration, just ahead of the national polls. The objective also of this engagement is to address the pressing issues that is actually raised by the creative industry. Crisaldo, you would know that this industry was also one of those that were actually hard hit, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And throughout that time, we've seen artists saying that they were struggling throughout that time. They hadn't had enough support from government, and they actually hope that perhaps these dialogues would actually reap, some benefits. Other issues that they've actually raised as a creative industry is issues around access to funding, the inadequate infrastructure, the lack of recognition, and the value of the creative work. I think, some in the creative industry have been lamenting the fact that, some South Africans actually downplay the role of the creative industry in the country, in that it actually plays a crucial role. Not only does it contribute to the economy and the economic development of the country, it shapes, Crisaldo, the country's cultural landscape and fosters social cohesion. So amongst those challenges that I mentioned before, if you don't know, and to our viewers who don't know, there are two, amendment bills that are somewhat a bone of contention for those in the creative industry, specifically South African musicians, the Copyright Amendment Bill and the Performance Protection Amendment Bill. And this legislation, we know now, has been passed by the National Assembly and has been sent to President Cyril Ramaphosa for assent. And, those in the music industry, artists have been complaining that the way it impacts negatively on them is that, there will be job losses in the industry. It will lead to a loss of income and royalties for artists, producers and songwriters. And, these artists actually believe that the bill would actually negatively impact, on the growth and investment of the recording industry in the country. So these are just some of the issues that we anticipate the creative industry and artists would actually be bringing to the doorstep of the ANC. Like you've correctly cited, the ANC Secretary-General, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, would be addressing the over 600 delegates that will be here. And of course, the Arts and Culture Committee of the ANC, which is then led by Thandi Moroka. We also do understand that the Minister of Arts and Culture, Zizi Kota, will also be here. Sports, Arts and Culture, Zizi Kota, will also be here. So, it would be interesting to hear what kind of conversations actually come out and what solutions could actually be brought to the creative industry of South Africa. We also do expect to quiz, the ANC Secretary-General, not only on matters of this dialogue, but of course you would know that this coming week in the electoral court, will be tasked with hearing the matter of the ANC and the MK. So we expect these issues to actually be tackled.